Welcome back, everybody. This is Critical Eye, and we are here with another film review. My name is Kevin, as always,
I'm Drew.
I'm Chris.
and we are here today to talk about Alex Garland's new movie, Men, which we just saw this morning. Quite a weird movie. Alex Garland, you may know as the writer and director of both Annihilation and Ex Machina. Also, I believe, writer and director of the series on Hulu called Devs.
Mm-hmm.
I believe he wrote but did not direct 28 Days Later.
I thought he was a producer on it as well.
He may be a producer, I'm not sure.
He wrote it, though.
He did
Yeah.
write it, nonetheless.
Other movies and shows he's associated with include 2012's Dread, the one that's not Sylvester Stallone. 28 Weeks Later. He's apparently connected to the Devil May Cry series on
Is he?
like the games, yeah. And just a bunch of other shows,
He's
movies.
pretty
games.
prolific.
Yeah, he's a pretty wide range director / writer / producer. His newest film, Men. Let's get into it. What do you guys think? Oh, spoiler alert. I mean, I'm gonna put it in the
It's
beginning.
always
of the
in the
video.
beginning, but
Yeah,
so
but-
always expect spoilers.
Yeah,
but
always expect spoilers for my movies because it's obviously a movie review. But yeah,
it wasn't his best, I will say. I think it was shot beautifully. The cinematography was really good, but I don't think it was his best. I think it was his first step into horror, like that kind of horror, right?
yeah.
Yes, all the movies have had horror elements to them, like
But this-
Annihilation and Ex Machina and 28 Days Later.
But this was the first really horror based. This is the whole thing is a horror.
Yeah, the others you could probably categorize as more
It's-
sci-fi thrillers
Yeah.
than horror.
Yeah, this is the first one's not genre bending
yeah.
or genre blending, where they blend two genres
Yeah.
together, like sci-fi and horror.
Yeah, it's still pretty. I'd say it's still pretty sci-fi with. So there are, I believe, aliens.
The least sci-fi out of all the movies.
Yeah,
he's done.
definitely the least sci-fi.
You
but
don't know. I think they really leave it open to interpretation.
They do. I think it's definitely aliens because I think whatever was in that house is an alien.
Should we explain first so this doesn't sound weird out of context?
It's gonna sound weird no matter what.
I know.
don't You guys can try to explain it. I don't know
Well,
how
then-
to explain it.
What did you think, Drew?
Of the movie,
Yeah.
How about this? We'll each give our own synopsis and we'll see who's the closest because I don't
Sure.
know. Who wants to go? You want me to go first?
Sure.
for sure.
So after she threatens to divorce her husband and he kills himself because of it, our lead actress Jessie Buckley, her character's name is Harper. She goes to this small town in the countryside of Britain. She's from London, but she goes to this Britain old country home just to kind of clear her mind, relax, decompress from all the crazy shit that just happened with her husband. Upon coming to the town, she meets a lot of weird people, including the guy who owns the house. He's a little bit of a weirdo. And then she goes on this walk and finds this other guy who's buck-ass nude, just walking around, swinging his thing around. And he starts stalking her, and then she meets the police, who arrest him, and then finds out that they just let him go a day later. All of the men in this movie are played by the same actor,
Except the husband.
Except the husband.
except for the husband,
Rory Kinnear.
Rory Kinnear. And it's actually weird because Rory Kinnear to me looks like Jessie Buckley, like he could be her father if it's up, if I thought about it.
Yeah, I don't know if you've seen that picture, the poster was men. It has the guy's men written over the guy's eyes.
Yeah.
I kept thinking that was Jessie Buckley.
Oh yeah,
At first, and then a couple more times, oh no, wait, that's a different person.
yeah.
That's a man.
That's a man. But all the men in the town are played by him, and then they all eventually start tormenting her. They start breaking into the house, just all around freaking her out.
Disappearing,
at her
coming back as
house.
other characters in the movie.
Yeah, and then at some point, they put their arm through the
Oh.
mailbox, and she stabs them to where they pull it out and slice their hand in half, the long way, like
Yeah.
a Kit Kat.
I think
And
we're going to have to elaborate on what you mean by they stabs them and they.
So one of the men is trying to break into the house, and has a knife, and she locks the door, and so the guy sticks his hand through the mail slot,
yeah,
and she takes a knife and stabs him, and he slowly slides his hand out this, and so it's
Yeah.
like Harper does that with the knife.
So basically cutting his hand like a Kit Kat, like from here down through
that's
here.
Such a
Yeah, but from then on, all the other men who show up at her house have the same wound.
Yeah.
And it's sort of revealed that they're all the same thing.
Again,
they're all the same person.
That was the weirdest part.
Yeah. Well, no,
We'll
that
get
was
into
not
that.
the weirdest
No, it's not the weird. That wasn't the weird. No, I'm talking about what after, but we'll get to that in a second.
I'll get into contradiction on that part later. Yeah.
Yeah, and so she eventually finds out they're all pretty much the same person. They all have the same injury. You know, there's a kid who looks just like him, which is a weird CGI face, I thought.
That was a little off.
Yeah, but there's also like the bartender is him, the other guys at the bar, the cop,
So
the priest. They're all him, and so
yeah.
what I think it is, because there's some shots that make it seem something cosmic. I think it's something alien related. I think there may be like a shape-shifting alien who has the same face but has different sort of...
Maybe took over the bodies of actual people.
Yeah, maybe came into the town, killed all the people, but started getting their features and can sort of duplicate himself to look like them with different features, like the hair of the priest, the young boy who's like shorter.
Yeah.
Eventually starts to like come on to Harper and almost like rape her, but then she sort of stabs him, and that's when the downfall starts happening.
Yeah.
We'll get into the weird ending.
I do want to clarify something first. So you did say that the husband killed himself. It wasn't clear because they said some other, like, at one point she said that because he hit her, and then she kicked him out of the house and locked the door, and then she said that he went up to the apartment above them, the flat, because they're in England.
Yeah.
And he forced his way into the apartment, and then went to their balcony and tried to climb down the balcony and back into their house. But she said he either slipped or let himself go. So it's not clear what...
That's fair. It isn't clear, but the argument they had right before he punched her was
like he kept saying, "I'm going to kill myself if you divorce me."
She wanted to...
Not fair.
Yeah, she wanted a divorce. He did not, and threatened to kill himself if they got a divorce.
God.
Which is not a very good, choice to make.
It's not a great alternative.
Yeah, it's not a very good alternative.
Clearly very unwell.
I would not wish that on anybody.
And then the priest made it seem like it was her fault. Like he was like, "Well, maybe you actually drove him to do it."
Yeah, the priest was like,
and she
"Do you ever feel guilty for driving him to do it?" And she's like, "What?"
And she went, "Fuck." Yeah, and she kept saying.
But this eventually led to like the ending where they start chasing her, tormenting her. She realizes they're all one person. It turns into the guy who owns the place, and she hits him with the car by accident, realizes that he's actually part of it. He rips her out of the car and then starts chasing her with the car until eventually he crashes, gets out of the car, his ankle's broken, and then he turns into like the naked guy from the beginning who like cuts himself and put leaves in himself.
It was that deity image they kept using in the church, on that like what do you call that like concrete structure thing, that leaf guy.
Well, I've never seen any of those faces in a church.
Yeah, me either. It's basically like a ritualistic sort of statue.
Yeah.
And there's two faces. One of them is like a guy with a leaf face, who the naked guy eventually turns into, and the other one is like a girl with a snake in her vagina. And I think that's right. Was the other one something different? I thought that's.
I mean, I thought it was a girl at first, but then once you find out what happens, and when everyone starts,
that's fair.
It could have been something,
It could have been something else. Basically, they start. The creature falls to his knees, falls over, and is pregnant, and starts giving birth to himself. Which is just another version of himself.
That was
like
pretty
himself.
graphic.
Yeah, it's very graphic. That person came out pregnant, fell over, and gave birth to another version of himself.
Like one of the other men, and then that one gave birth to another one of the men.
Yeah,
and it kept happening.
It was a cycle until eventually one of them started giving birth from his mouth, feet first, and it turned into her now ex-husband, she asked him what does he want from her, and he said your love, and that's when it sort of ended. It cut to black, and then there was another scene where her friend who was trying to help her, who like drove three or four hours to come but was too late, she shows up and she's just kind of sitting there and smiles at her. So it's up for a lot of interpretation. It's
her friend sees all the blood in the crashed car and everything.
But she doesn't see the bodies of the...
But she doesn't see the body, so she's like, doesn't really know what
Yeah, she sees all the physical aftermath, the car, the
But
broken door, the blood. She doesn't
had
see
talked to
any
her
creature.
friend in the past and said that there was like a guy trying to stalk her, and they were.
Mm-hmm. And I'm pretty sure the friend also saw him. Like, she saw him in the camera, but...
Yeah.
The friend has been up to date with everything. She was just kind of late with this, but... Freaky movie. Was I missing anything?
I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I think it pretty much sums it up. Did you mention in the beginning how where she was at? It was that she was kind of going on a vacation after everything that happened with her husband.
To heal.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, heal, decompress.
Yeah, that was the whole. Yeah, and
So she
it was like
spent a
her
lot of
dream
money.
house.
She spent like a lot of money to like stay there for like 2 weeks.
Exactly, yeah. And she was just kind of excited to be there, and then they started tormenting her, and that's when...
Then the men came.
Yeah, that's when all the men came.
Typical men.
Yeah. I'll say his name... You said his name is Rory McKinnear?
No, Rory Kinnear.
Rory Kinnear. He's really good. He played all of those different characters very well, I thought. I've never seen him in anything before. Apparently he's in all the James Bond movies. He's in, like, you know, a few other things. I don't really remember him from anything, but he was really good. I thought
Jessie Buckley.
Jessie Buckley was also really good.
She's great.
She was from like I'm thinking of Ending Things and The Lost Daughter, right?
Yeah, she's the last daughter. She was in a couple other things recently too.
Yeah.
Yeah. But she was really good. I thought it was funny that they chose these two because to me, Jessie Buckley looks like she could be Rory McKinnear's daughter. So she looked like one of the men in town who looked just like him. And to me, that was weird. But I thought the performances were really good. There's only like 4 actors in it. It's them, her husband, her friend, and then there's like one female cop who's not him.
Which is really strange that there's a female cop in that city.
Yeah, and it's really weird that not only is that she doesn't look like him. So is she in on it in the town, or is she just like one of the outside town police officers who came in? What do you guys think?
I really have no idea. Like that was one of the things I was thinking about towards the end. Is like, what was the point of the female cop? Because like she was the only one who was different than all the men there.
Yeah, I have no idea. It was strange because she was like the only one who was like, oh, you know, he's harmless. She was the only one really, really like nice to her.
And the other ones were kind of just dismissive and just like,
yeah,
we didn't have any like evidence against him.
Yeah, like she was
he
like,
just seemed harmless.
He was stalking me. I saw him twice.
Yeah.
He chased me out of the woods, and the guy was like, well, I don't think he saw you once.
He goes, he tried to break into your house.
Yeah.
Or she goes, he tried to break in the house, and the cop was like, well,
next time you see him, just let me know.
Yeah.
Like,
and she was like, Jesus, and she called them all wankers.
Yeah, the wankers.
Also, there was the scene where like she's remember the lights kept turning on and off, and for the first time, and she was like in her kitchen holding the knife, and she heard like the footsteps, and then the window broke, and then she saw like a chair go towards her and then get pulled away, and then when Rory Kinnear showed up as the owner of the house, he went in. He goes, I heard screaming, and then I heard a window break, and she said, there's someone in there, and she went in, and it was just like a bird with a broken wing.
Yeah, it was like a crow.
And so he broke the neck.
Yeah, that was a weird.
Yeah, someone. Well, because when the window broke, it sounded like someone threw something at the window.
Yeah, that's what it sounded like.
So I was thinking maybe they threw the bird at the window. They grabbed the crow and threw it at the window.
It's possible. But then, like, the bird wouldn't be moving the chair. So I think it was him that, like, broke the window.
Well, he broke it. He got in and he started moving, pushed over the chair, and then got out.
And then from there, it just kind of went downward spiral.
Yeah, I don't. The main man was Jerry. That was his name. Jerry was the main one.
Yeah.
Out of the bunch, and it was kind of strange. I mean, at the end, you find out like his true motives, but like throughout the movie, you're not really quite sure what he's thinking or what he's doing.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you noticed, but like at the end of the movie, when she's driving away and she hits him, when he gets up, he doesn't have the wound on his hand.
Yeah.
Oh no, he does, but it's just like folded. You could see like the red line, but it's not like...
I saw it afterwards when he came back, but like.
Oh, when she first hits him?
Yeah, when she first hits him, you
don't
don't see the wound.
Yeah, I don't know if it was a continuity error or not.
So when there wasn't a wound, I thought, oh, he must be different than them because he doesn't have the wound. And then he just went Grand Theft Auto on her, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Also, God, this is gonna get from YouTube, isn't it? With the priest, trigger warning, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
The priest, when she's hiding in the bathroom and he comes in, and he starts.
Oh yeah, we
already talked about that. Yeah.
Well, the whole thing when he's like, "Hey, what age did you lose your virginity?"
Oh yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Trigger warning.
Yeah, he asked her a bunch of weird questions, and then he's like, you know, I've been fantasizing about us.
He goes, I've been thinking about you.
Yeah. and that's when he like puts her up on the dresser and tries to.
He basically says to her, he says like, "I've imagined you doing everything that you can do to yourself or for yourself."
Yeah.
And I'm just like, ew.
Yeah, and that's when like he pushes her up into the thing to try to sort of have his way with her, and she stabs him, and that's like the start to the decline of the monster, whatever it is. They never really explain what exactly it is. They just kind of make it so that they're all one thing. It's a weird town and they all look the same, but you don't know exactly what it is, where they're from. There's a feeling that it might be something cosmic because there's a few shots of the sky of like they call it cosmic rifts or something.
Yeah.
But you never know exactly what they are, where they're coming from, what's happening. Which is strange. I mean, it's kind of like Alex Garland, sort of, because the same thing happened in Annihilation.
Yeah, I was going to say
it's just like something fell to Earth, created the shimmer. We don't know what it is. We don't know what's going on.
They never explain it.
They never explain it. They don't really explain it in the book either. I read the book.
I've never read the book.
It's kind of hard to read, but it's not a long book. You know what I mean? Like it's a thin book, but it's
like a lot going on.
Yeah, kind of dense and kind of like a lot. Yeah, a lot going on.
Did you like it?
I liked it. I thought it was good. It's definitely more vague than the movie. Like the movie's like, oh,
Well, because they can actually show stuff in a movie.
Well, not only that, like in the book, they only call them by their, like, what do they? I forgot what they called them. The, like the biologist, the whatever the other one's name.
Their titles.
Yeah, their titles. They only call them by their titles. In the book.
Like the scientist that said this.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and don't get me wrong, it's been like a year since I've read it. I read it like last January, maybe like a year and a half. But from what I remember, it's very vague. They call them only by their titles, but it's the same thing where they all go into the shimmer to sort of do that. It's a little bit different from the book, from Annihilation. Spoiler warning for Annihilation. Like one of the bigger differences is there's no bear in the book. The bear's not in the book. What happens is she kind of runs through a field, and she feels the presence of something around her, and the thing starts chasing her, but they never explain exactly what it is. And the way the leader of the group dies is different. She's not like actually in the hole. She's outside of the lighthouse. Like something attacked her on the outside of the lighthouse. And the way the book is set up is actually really interesting. And I don't think they show this in the movie. Is they're all pretty much like hypnotized to where they're more open to suggestion when certain phrases are said, which is how she controls the group. And so there's one, like annihilation is a code word in the book, from what I remember. It's basically like kill yourself. So like if she says annihilation, kill yourself on the spot. Like if anything goes wrong, she just says annihilation and they all just die, which is crazy. But like
it's been a while since I've seen the movie, but I don't remember them touching up on that.
Yeah, no,
I don't either.
But there was something in the book that happens to the main actress, the main girl.
That Natalie Portman plays?
Yeah, the Natalie Portman plays. There's something that happens to her in the book that counteracts that, and she's not open to the suggestion again. So she starts picking up on these like phrases that happen. And so when...
Very Bioshock-esque, kind of.
Kind of, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, right, with the phrase?
Yeah.
Oh.
I never actually played Bioshock.
It's a good game.
I have to check it out. I had the collection.
There's this phrase that I think it's like, if you'll kindly...
Would you kindly?
Would you kindly, and then they say what they want the person to do, and the person will do it.
Yeah. It's kind of like that, yeah. Like there was, the first thing that they run into in the shimmer is this big-ass hole. And there's like a staircase that leads down, and the further you get down the staircase, there's like different organisms that start like showing up, and there's like one big monster at the bottom that comes up and starts killing people. But nobody wants to go down this thing. And then the lady says something, and they all say, "Okay, fine, we'll go." Like they don't want to, but she's hypnotizing them into doing it. And the main girl sort of like realizes there's not really, or she has something that happens to her that makes her counteract the suggestion to whatever she's saying. But I forgot where I was going with this. This turned into an annihilation.
Yeah, I was going to say, is this actually a way to talk about...
Yeah, we can go back to Man unless you need to figure out what you're saying.
Let's say, is this segment talking to Alex Garland's other work now?
Well, what I was trying to say is it's kind of like the ending to Annihilation is kind of like the ending to Men, where it's up for interpretation. It's like, you know, Natalie Portman's character comes back to the real world after everything that happens in the Shimmer, but they don't really explain where the things come from. They only explain sort of what's happening in the Shimmer, which is like everything is. Yeah.
Okay, so that's what you're linking with.
Yeah,
they leave everything very open up.
Both movies show what's happening, but they don't want to explain why it's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They leave it up for you to be like, oh, I think this is why.
Yeah, which I think is. I think there's like some hidden messages in a lot of his movies, you know, like.
Do they do anything like that in Ex Machina? It's been a while since I've seen that.
No, Ex Machina had a pretty definitive ending.
That's what I remember. Ending. Yeah.
The hidden message I think in Ex Machina is just like, you know, don't get too far with technology. Don't get too like.
Don't absorb yourself into it.
Yeah, don't get too advanced without knowing what you're doing, because they made Ava and then she got out and now she's living among the humans.
And you can't even. No one can tell that she. Yeah.
Yeah. So that one, and then you know, ecological disaster I think is with Annihilation, and then you know, social sort of he say she say I believe in Men was kind of like the theme. Not really like he said she said.
Yeah, there wasn't really a whole lot of he said she said. It was more like just accusing people of things.
Yeah, like accusation, people not believing, and stuff like that. Because like nobody would believe if she said what just happened at the end of Men, if she was like, "Hey, this all happened." She'd be like, "Yeah, let's go to a doctor."
They gave birth to themselves.
Yeah, they started giving birth to themselves, and then they just died. And I don't know. He's in the house. He's making tea. But he died a long time ago. I don't know, man.
Well, I wonder what's in the house, because
he said that he kept saying the house was like over 500. Parts of it were like 500 years plus old. I don't know if that had anything of importance.
Well, no, I meant at the end of the movie, like because at the end of the movie, you know, the friend comes and she sees all the blood, she sees all the damage. So obviously something went down. It wasn't like it was in her mind. Something obviously went down in that house. And if they were to go into the house, like, what would they see? Would they find the husband's body? Would they find one of the Jerrys? Would they find nothing?
You're thinking of Rick and Morty when you say one of the Jerrys, just because there's that whole
I'm just gonna call him,
multiple Jerrys.
I don't remember all their names. I'm just gonna call him Jerry.
Well, I think she kind of walked by all of the bodies, like where the bodies would have been. So I think maybe they were there. She could have.
Well, they all would have been outside.
The camera showed like the driveway, and there was at least two bodies there.
Before, and then there was
the naked guy and the kid.
And then when the friend came, there wasn't. It was just the streaks of blood from them crawling.
So it looked like those bodies disappeared.
That's fair.
So it makes me wonder, like, you know, if maybe there was actually something supernatural going on, or if she was making up all this, like, stuff in her head, and it was just like the naked guy chasing her the whole time, and she finally got him.
Or maybe, like, with the smile at the end, they were like, oh, you know, like, the monster killed her, and now he looks like her. And she just kind of cleaned everything up, all the bodies, to make sure nobody could see it, and that's why she was smiling at the end. Because she's like, now it's me, you know.
If she cleaned it up, she would have cleaned up, like, the door and all the blood on the floor.
Maybe she just had time for the bodies, so there's no, like,
I thought she was smiling like, boy, do I got a story to tell you.
Yeah.
I know during that beginning when she was taking her walk, and she went and she found that, like, tunnel, and she kept going, and she was, like, doing it. And I know I kept hearing her go, because Anna was, like, holding her hand, squeezing her hand the whole time.
And it was like, something's going to happen. So she was holding my hand, but she held it at this angle for half an hour, and then I was like, can I get my hand back? And when I finally got it back, I went like this. But have you ever kept, like, your neck in one position for too long?
If you, like, fall asleep on it.
Yeah, and then when you go like this, it kind of hurts right here because you're, like, scrunching that stretched up muscle. Oh, it hurt like hell, and I was like, ow. But I did like this thing, and then she kind of massaged it. I cracked my knuckles and stuff, and it felt much better. But yeah, she was scared. I was scared too because I was like, "There's anything could happen here."
Andrew, when the first time that someone's hand shot through, like when the naked guy's hand shot through the mail slot, he screamed. Did you hear him?
Oh yeah. He freaked out. He was like,
"I'm gonna."
He's like, "Oh!"
He was, "Oh!"
I didn't see that now.
Yeah, our friend Andrew came with us, and he's funny.
I went, Andrew, did that legitimately scare you? Went, yeah.
Yeah, he's cool. But yeah, it's a strange movie. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about with Men?
It is a lot to take in, this type of movie.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's something that we can maybe at some point kind of gather our thoughts, think about it, and then come back. I don't know. Probably
if
not.
we ever want to do a rewatch, like if we ever like do
I think that's
podcasts where we
all.
like re-review
Yeah.
movies we've already seen, maybe we could
Like critical eye re-reviews.
Yeah. Well, maybe we can like separate the review from actually watching the movie from now on. Like, watch the movie one day, review another day, so we can kind of review our thoughts. We don't have to do it like the same day, you know.
Depends on the movie.
Yeah, something like
Like
this.
for this one, we probably need like,
this
some
one.
time to think about what we just saw.
Yeah, but like Doctor Strange was a perfect movie because we were still excited for the movie. We
I
just
think
watched
Thor's
it.
gonna be another one of those.
Yeah, Thor's gonna be. Really
Yeah,
nice.
that's-
What's the next?
The next one we're reviewing is
Top
Gun.
Top Gun, right? We're gonna go see that on
We've seen
Tuesday.
it, we've seen it early.
Early.
Yeah.
Comes out Friday.
Because we paid money.
Yeah, we paid good money for these, so we will be seeing it early.
Because we got invited to pay money to see
Yeah, we got invited.
it. Pay money?
That usually how it works, yeah.
What? Yeah.
But anyways, Men. I mean, there's not really anything else. I've never seen Rory McKinney or Kenny, whatever his name is. I've never seen the guy. I've never seen the girl before. I watched like half an hour.
You've never
If I'm
seen-
thinking of anything.
Jessie Buckley was in I'm Thinking of Ending Things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw like half an hour of that movie.
She was in
That
something
was
else too.
cool.
I thought we saw something with her.
She was in The Lost Daughter.
No, I thought there was something else we all saw together with her though. Let me awkwardly pull out my phone in the middle of recording and see what she was in.
Yeah, I do that too.
Yeah, it's okay.
The
He hasn't
Courier,
done
the
that.
Courier, with Benedict Cumberbatch.
I was in the Courier. But yeah, solid movie from.
She was in Doolittle.
She
True.
was
That's
A24.
Oh, she's
Yeah.
in Fargo. I came back. I haven't been doing it for a while. She was.
They're gonna get us all COVID again.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm negative now.
Oh, yeah.
You said that last time.
You said that last time. Anyways.
No,
Yeah,
no,
okay.
I don't know what I was thinking. I thought she was in something we saw. But
Yeah, she does look really familiar, but yeah, I don't really have anything else to say about the movie. It's kind of a lot. It's kind of weird movie, but
What do you think of symbolism in the movie?
I thought
Like,
there was
The symbolism of the apples. I was wondering because like
Well, the apples was because every product there was an apple product, so I might as well have the fruit.
except she had a grapefruit at one point, and when she was eating breakfast, talking to her friend, she was eating a grapefruit. That's when the naked man
Well,
first showed up
they,
at the
they,
house.
they couldn't make it that obvious with her eating an apple with apple products. They had to be a
Yeah.
little subtle with it.
a little bit more. I thought it was like a sort of Adam and Eve type.
Yeah.
That's what he
where
said
she
because the
took a
guy
bite.
he joked at the beginning. He goes, "Oh no, you mustn't eat the apple."
Yeah,
he
the
goes, "It's
forbidden
forbidden fruit."
Now, I don't know if
And
you
she went, "Oh, I'm sorry." He goes, "No, I'm kidding."
Yeah, that's what I thought. Like the weird dude who was putting like the leaves in his skin. He's sort of like some kind of weird nature monster. And when she ate the apple, he was like, "Oh, you ate one of my apples.
Ew.
You ripped an apple out of my tree. I'm gonna kill you now." But it was a weird sort of Adam and Eve sort of symbolism, where she took a bite of an apple when she first showed up before anybody ever met her, and then as soon as she showed up, it was already weird. Like people thought, the guy who owned the house was like, "Oh, that's the forbidden fruit," and then he was like, "No, I'm just kidding. It's not forbidden fruit."
Yeah, I don't.
It's like have as much as you want.
I don't know if I'm overthinking this, but like when she first gets to the house and she goes up to the apple trees, there are two apples, which to me kind of thought like male, gender.
Yeah.
I was thinking,
Testicles?
I was
fair.
thinking, I was like, oh, is that like, is it like some sort of symbolic dominance,
Yeah.
or am I just overthinking things?
Well,
I don't know.
I also should figure out because like for the trailers, they seemed to make a big deal about the apples. Like that was a huge like thing, and then they weren't really like.
Well, Jerry mentioned that the apples attract wasps. So, and you saw that like crazy naked old man going over there, like, which is some sort of symbolism with that, where like the men were some sort of like hornet wasp nuisance.
Possible. I
I'm-
thought it
I'm-
was.
Or I'm overthinking.
No. I thought it was
Also-
more like you know how Adam and Eve, she bites the apple
Yeah.
and she brings sin into the world by biting the apple. Is that right?
Yeah.
I'm not very religious, but I think that's the sort of.
Well, yeah,
gist of
the serpent tempts Eve to bite into the apple, and then she sort of convinces Adam to bite into the apple.
And then they're cast out of this perfect world.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And-
I was thinking. Sorry.
I'm sorry, I was saying, and the man's naked too, and he's
Yeah.
with an apple tree. So.
What was?
Although it's never. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. You can finish.
Go ahead,
You
Ron.
can finish.
Sorry.
I say it's in the Bible. It's never actually stated that it's an apple. Like it's just called the forbidden fruit.
But everyone just thinks.
But
It's,
everyone uses an apple as the
Yeah.
imagery.
yeah.
I think it's at least from what I thought it was like she bit the apple, and they sort of took that as like, oh, she's a bad apple, she's bad, and so they're gonna sort of try to kill her to keep her away.
Well,
and I think that's sort of what the priest was trying to get at, was like, when did you lose your virginity? Was it before marriage? Was this and that? Was this and that? Like, he's started asking her a bunch of weird questions about like her personal stuff, and I just thought it was sort of like they were blaming her for eating the apple, so they all kind of tormented her to like terrorize her or tell her like, you're bad, like get away from here and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
See, the way I kind of interpreted that was that the whole part of the thing in the Bible was that Eve to convince Adam to eat the forbidden fruit as well. There's a lot of people blame Eve for kicking them out, for having humans kicked out of the garden.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, though, when you think about it, Adam made his own choice and made his own decision. And throughout this whole movie, the men are making their own decisions, like the husband being a jerk, hitting his wife, and the other men in that town, saying these things to Jessie Buckley to sort of like trigger her and get her all upset.
Mm-hmm.
But they're still blaming her for everything. But at the end of the day, it's their own responsibility, but they're using a woman to not take that responsibility.
That's fair. I don't know. A lot of religious themes in this movie. It's hard. Like, it's hard for me because I'm not really that religious. I just started going back to church, but I'm not really too versed on the Bible or any religious stories like that. So, I can't really speak much on it. But definitely a lot of religious themes, especially with what you were saying earlier, the like statue thing with the two faces. That seemed like a sort of religious artifact.
I mean, it was in a church.
Yeah. But then
I've never seen anything like that in the church.
But then it started like following her everywhere. Like, she started seeing it in the house. She started seeing it like there was a
having
lot
visions.
there was a lot of like shots of it. Even if it wasn't in the room, it was just a shot of it, changing colors and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, I thought I'm sure there's something like symbolic about a lot of things in this movie.
Yeah, I feel like... Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay. Good?
No, you can go.
I'm not sure if they actually ever explained the whole thing with the phone, how it kept, like, glitching out.
Oh, you kept seeing that weird face?
I thought that was kind of dumb. I didn't like that.
Yeah, it was weird. It was dumb. I was like, I don't know what that is. That's another reason why I thought they were sort of alien, was because they were fucking with, like, the electricity, the connection, stuff like that. But they could easily just do that with, an axe and a phone pole. So I don't know. They never really explained that. I thought I have to rewatch it, but I'm pretty sure he was trying to explain something with colors, like the orange sort of lighting in the apartment where the guy killed himself versus the bright, vibrant green of the outdoors, and then all the different colors within the house, like the red walls or the room that was like sort of peach colored, or the white one. Hi, Emma. We have guests here, Emma and Penny again. You may remember them from the last video or last few videos. Emma and Penny are here.
You're just chilling under your camera.
She's protecting the camera. She's making sure it doesn't shut off
I
again.
didn't even realize she was there. She's just been laying under the camera.
The whole time, yeah.
But,
Uh-oh.
yeah, it's, I'm sure there's a lot that we just haven't connected yet with, color and different other symbols and stuff like that. Did you guys catch up on anything like that? Anything else?
Not really, no. I feel like there's something big that we're missing, and then, like, over time, or if we watch another video on this, we're like, oh, I can't believe I missed that.
There's this, I don't remember his, what's the YouTube channel? I think it's Found Flicks or something. What he'll do with a lot of horror movies is it's called, name of horror movie, ending explained, but he goes through the whole movie and explains the whole thing, and I like to watch those sometimes because he, like, goes into, like, details and about what this means and that means, or what it could mean.
I mean, I've seen a lot of those, like, ending explained videos. I don't know if it's the same channel. Yeah. I'll definitely have to watch the one for this one.
And when it comes out, yeah,
because I like to see how someone explains that ending.
Yeah,
because he puts, like, screenshots in from the movie, so, and then as he's talking about it, so you know what he's talking about.
Yeah. I can't really think of anything else. Do you guys have anything else for this movie?
No.
I don't really have any other comments other than It's weird.
Yeah. If we think of anything else, we can definitely speak about it. But on to our next topic, which was supposed to be a video before this movie came out. We wanted to talk about Alex Garland and then all of his other work that he's done.
Which we kind of did earlier. We're going to expand, I guess, a little more.
You were talking more about the book than Alex Garland.
Yeah, I was talking more about the book of Annihilation, but Alex Garland was definitely a good... Yeah. Alex Garland was definitely a good... We'll leave at 4:30. We'll make it on time.
Okay.
Make it on time.
Kevin and I are supposed to go somewhere, so I keep like checking the time.
Starts at 7. It's currently 4, and it's only an hour and
like 40 minutes away.
Drive, so we'll make it on time. We'll probably make it like a good hour to spare. But Alex Garland, director of Ex Machina and Annihilation. Have you guys seen both of those movies?
I've seen both. Yeah.
Yeah. Have you?
I've seen both.
Gotcha. Yeah. So, Ex Machina is about, both of them have a pretty strong cast. Ex Machina, of course, Oscar Isaac. The kid that plays Caleb.
Domhnall Gleeson's in Ex Machina.
Who's that?
Domhnall. He's General Hux in the last
Yeah, the guy who plays Caleb. And then Ava is another...
Alicia Vikander. She was married to Michael Fassbender.
Yeah, and then Kyoki was another one. And then Annihilation, of course, Natalie Portman.
Oscar Isaac again, right?
Oscar Isaac, yeah, Tessa Thompson. Yeah. The girl who plays Jane the Virgin.
Oh, not Gina Rodriguez. Is it Gina Rodriguez?
I have no idea. I don't know her real name, but I know she plays Jane the Virgin, and she's in this, and then I think I've seen her in one other thing. But yeah, both very good movies. I thought this Men was probably his not as good movie as the other two, which sucks because I was excited for this
one. The one that was definitely open to the most interpretation, I think.
Mm-hmm. Definitely the most open-ended one, but
like beard hair in your water.
Why'd you put a beard hair in my water?
I see it right here. Look at the side of the glass.
Why'd you put a hair in my water?
I just went.
But yeah, out of the three though, this is definitely his most grounded film between his three films.
Yeah.
And I also like that he kind of has this ongoing theme with each movie of isolation.
Yeah.
Because in Ex Machina, they're pretty much on this isolated island with the only interaction is Oscar Isaac, who's kind of a weird social outcast, and then this robotic girl who's not even real, but it feels so real to the point she might as well be real. With Annihilation, they're all in this it was like a dome, right, where they all went into.
Yeah, it was a shimmer.
Yeah, they all. Yeah. It was just it was a handful of them who went in there.
Yeah, Alex Garland is definitely good with isolation. I think I was saying in the car the other day, he does a lot of really wide scenic shots that make it seem like you're alone in this giant area.
That's what, like the shots with the tunnel in this movie, and
exactly, and with Annihilation, they were kind of alone in the shimmer, and Ex Machina, they were alone in this giant
house or whatever it was.
Yeah, well, it wasn't really like a giant house. It was a good sized house, but it was a house in this giant piece of land that he owned.
Like a compound?
Kind of, but it was miles. He had to fly on a helicopter for an hour before he could even get to the land so he could walk to the house. Yeah,
it was like a giant compound.
Yeah. And
it had a bunch of other facilities on it.
Yeah, and this is where Nathan, Oscar Isaac's character, was living for years, just alone, just sitting there. Well, he had Kyoki and then Ava, but Ava's a robot, and you learn later on, spoiler, Kyoki's also a robot. So he's basically been living alone with his robots for years, just getting drunk every night, getting down with them. But in this movie, Men, it was more of a social isolation type thing, where she was kind of, she was around other people that she could reach to for help, but none of them were actually any help. They were just kind of...
They were all in on this whole...
Yeah, they were all in on it. So she's not really, able to get to anybody. And so he does isolation pretty well. Again, he's a writer on 28 Days Later, which I've never seen, but heard a lot of really good things. It's, with the one guy in this whole zombie apocalypse.
Kind of like an I Am Legend type of...
Kind of, yeah. Another thing that I think he's really good with is, cosmic horror and body horror. Ex Machina, there's not a lot of body horror, except for like that one. There's like a scene where he finds all the tapes of all the other robots who go crazy, and I think that's kind of body horror because there's like that one girl who's banging on the wall until eventually her hands break, and then they reveal like the robot, and then she just keeps banging, and then it just keeps breaking down her arm until eventually she just has like a stub here and here of her just banging on the wall, or like all the other robots who look like humans but they're all just destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
And then in, of course, Annihilation, there's like the bear, the guy who has the intestines are just a giant worm, the thing that they find in the pool. Just very good at body horror. And in this movie, of course, the ending and then the way the guy fell, and they actually showed the guy after he fell, and his like hand is through a spike. His leg
and
is broken.
his hand had the.
Yeah, he's all like that. That's another thing that we connected is at the end of Men, the alien has like a broken leg, and then his arm is like cut in half. But those are the same injuries that her husband had when he jumped.
Because his hand got impaled by what do you call those fences that have like the metal spikes?
Yeah, it's just like a medical. Yeah, it's just
and
like
he got
a
impaled.
fence.
I guess it looked like he got impaled like here, and then he slid down.
Yeah,
I wish they kind of,
God.
because I thought it was really cool how like that's what she sees, like she saw his body like that when he died, and then in the movie she cuts his arm. I wish they would have found a way to make her break his foot, because she sort of stands up and his foot's broken. And I'm like, that would be nice if she was a result of all that.
I think they were kind of trying to say that was a result of when she hit him with the car. Is that he kind of broke his foot, or like when he got into the accident on the thing?
Because when he got up from getting hit by a car, he was kind of limping.
Yeah,
but it didn't show it was broken. It was like after he got out of the car and he stood up, and then his leg went.
Yeah, but I think it was sort of like implied that it was because she hit him with the car that his leg broke.
Yeah. But it was the ankle really that was the broken part.
Yeah. Well, either way, I mean, you could break your ankle on it.
Yeah, I could break your ankle.
Yeah. But yeah, what else did you guys think about Annihilation and Ex Machina?
I probably liked Annihilation the least out of you two. Like, I thought Annihilation was fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ex Machina is my favorite.
Ex Machina I thought was the best. It was really great.
Yeah, same. I thought it goes like Ex Machina, Annihilation, Men.
Yeah, that's
what I said too.
Yeah. But a lot of different things. He tackles like different things every time.
Did you like this one?
This one, it was alright. I thought it was fine for what it was as well.
Yeah.
I mean, if we go do our letterbox scores.
Oh yeah, the scores.
Huh.
I'd say probably a good like 3.5, just because I don't really know what the ending was about. But leading up to the ending, I thought everything was great. So I thought it was like a good 3.5 all up until like the end part.
I'm gonna go to solid 3.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with a 3 out of 5 as well.
Yeah, 3 out of 5. So.
Yeah. And then what would you guys give like
something?
What would you guys give Ex Machina? I'd give it like a 4.5.
Yeah, I gave it a 4.5.
Same thing.
And then I gave Annihilation on mine a 3.
I don't know.
Give Annihilation probably a 4.
I don't even know if I've done Annihilation on the letterbox, but I think I would give it like a 3.5.
I loved Annihilation. I thought Annihilation was a good 3 or a good 4. I mean, yeah. Definitely, Alex Garland's a good director to look out for. I know when I first saw the trailer for Men, I saw Alex Garland's name and I was like, oh, I know that guy. It's like, yes, finally another movie. I think the last one he made was Ex Machina, and that was back in like what?
Did you do Annihilation first or Ex Machina first?
It was Ex Machina and Annihilation.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, either way, Annihilation was like years ago.
It was like, I think I was in high school.
2018, I thought.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Oh, so I wasn't even in high school. I was in college when it came out. Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, he's been making Devs since then. Devs is a show that he has on Hulu.
Yeah, it's probably gonna watch. I never got around to it.
I haven't started watching it.
Yeah, with Nick Offerman.
Is it fun? Supposed to be funny?
No, it's like Ex Machina, where it's like a bunch of sciencey stuff.
Well, just because every time I think of Nick Offerman, I think of like a funny like comedy.
No,
he's in some
like
serious stuff.
I know he is.
Yeah,
he's a good actor.
He usually does like serious shit. Oh yeah, Nick Offerman. Yeah, he's a really good actor. He's like Bob O'Reilly. Is that his name? The guy from Step Brothers.
John C. Reilly?
John C. Bob O'Reilly is...
Okay, Bob O'Reilly is from a song from The Who.
That's Bob O'Reilly.
Yeah.
Who am I thinking about? O'Reilly.
Bill O'Reilly?
Yeah, I'm thinking Bill O'Reilly. Bob O'Reilly is
I
a
was
song.
thinking about the song. John C. Reilly. He's really good in dramas, but he's also funny as hell.
Have you ever seen him in Magnolia?
John C. Reilly?
Yeah.
He was in...
Magnolia. Is it the Paul Thomas Anderson movie?
I haven't seen that.
I haven't seen that one, no.
It's a good movie.
I thought you were talking about Melancholia.
No.
No, I haven't seen Magnolia, but I've seen him in We Need to Talk About Kevin. He was good in that movie.
Also, what is it? Walk the Line.
Yeah.
That's a really funny movie.
Yeah, and then of course Step Brothers. All the other movies that he's in are hilarious.
Not Holmes and Watson. That's a really bad movie.
Yeah.
Don't watch that one.
No. But yeah, Alex Garland. When I first saw his name on this film, I was like, oh, finally another Alex Garland movie. I've been waiting, because I saw Annihilation and Ex Machina, and I think they were in the same class I watched in.
Your film class?
Yeah. Is that Emma? Or
It was Emma. Did I pick it up?
If you look at her, she's stretching.
I think it did. She's stretching, guys. She's not farting, I promise. But yeah, I watched them both in the same class at UMass. Were you?
I'm in there.
Oh. In the same class at UMass. I think it was like Alien Encounters, where we talked about like it's called
Alien Encounters.
Yeah, there's a lot of different like film study classes at UMass like that. I think I took one every semester because they were like
it was like films, class. Alien Encounter films. Yeah, not just like a class about alien encounters.
No.
I wish I took a film class as an elective in UMass.
Oh, it's great. I did Alien Encounters, psycho thrillers, horror, contemporary Hispanic cinema.
Did they ever do?
What else. I took a lot.
Horror? Did they ever do like Cronenberg's? David Cronenberg.
What did he do?
Drone.
He did They Live.
They Live. He's like so known as like the king of body horror.
He's got a new one coming out this year.
Yeah, it's called Crimes of the Future.
I know we did. They did like Raw. They did The Tale of Two Sisters. Just a bunch of other horror movies that are freaky.
Yeah. He did The Fly with Jeff Goldblum.
Oh yeah, we watched The Fly. I don't remember if that was with horror or Alien Encounters, because they called it Alien Encounters, but they really meant like the other.
He also did Scanners.
Yeah.
A Dangerous Method.
That's what it was. It was called Film Studies End of the World. That was the other one that I did. Where they watched a bunch of apocalypse movies, and that's what these two were from. Because they were like, oh, if Ava really got out, what kind of damage could she do in the world? And then Annihilation, of course, the shimmer just getting bigger and bigger and bigger until eventually it takes over the world.
He did a Stephen King movie.
Which one?
The Dead Zone? I'm not familiar with that one.
I'm not familiar with that either.
But yeah, I took a few classes, and these two movies were in those classes.
Is that your first time watching those movies?
Yeah. Definitely worth the watch. Those classes were great because they showed me all the really good movies and all the really good directors, and I was like, yes, like it's like learn about all these people, like Alfonso Cuarón.
He's great, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Who else did I learn about? Alex Garland, of course.
This was for which one again?
Huh?
This was for like the Apocalypse one?
I don't remember. There was so many movies and so many different classes. I took one each semester for 4 semesters plus 2 summer semesters, I'm pretty sure.
They should. I don't know if you ever did like Kurosawa films.
I don't think we watched any Kurosawa.
Oh my god. Rashomon, Seven Samurai.
I've seen Rashomon.
I really like Rashomon.
That's a good one.
Yeah, there were like different topics, so there may have been a topic where they talked about Kurosawa, but I just didn't take that one.
But Rashomon's more like a detective ghost story.
It is a detective ghost story. It's weird. It's like made in the 50s, but it's like a detective, like, so it's, I know it's off topic, but it's like this like woman is killed, and so they have like the court in Japan, and
it takes place during the samurai.
The samurai. So it's like an outdoor court. They're all in this like one area, and it's all done through like telling the story in flashbacks.
Yeah, you seen The Last Night? It's kind of like that, where like there's 3 different stories that are being told, and it's the same thing.
And so you have like the woodsman is telling the story, the husband, and then like the ghost of the woman is telling the story. What happened?
No, the ghost of the husband.
The ghost of the husband. Excuse me. Yeah, the ghost of the husband, but through a medium. It's really cool. It's really cool. It's really well done.
That's a one worth watching.
I'm gonna check those out.
I think it's in the what is that, like
the Criterion channel?
Criterion collection.
Yeah, I canceled my subscription to that.
I think a lot of his movies are actually.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
Probably. Yeah. Small little insight into our education on film.
I think we're gonna try to do another one of these videos with Thor, right? For Taika Waititi.
Yeah.
Where we talk about Thor, and then we talk about his history and his career.
Well, what we're gonna try to do is do it before Thor comes out, so that
So
people.
We got time this time. We got some time now.
What Critical Eye discusses or talks about Taika Waititi or
I was gonna call it another series called Time in the Chair.
Or Director's Chair.
Or Director's Chair, something like that, and then have it so that
we could get him on through audio.
You want to get Taika Waititi onto our podcast?
How cool would that be?
Not that big yet.
How cool would that be?
You think he's one of our
what if he's one of our 3 subscribers? He's just one of them.
I think we're the 3 subscribers.
Yeah, we're the 3 subscribers. He's like, we have another subscriber. It's Taika Waititi. What? Hey man, you want to be on our podcast? Exchange for Thor premiere tickets.
We're gonna talk about you. Would you like to talk about yourself for an hour?
Oh my god, Taika Waititi talking about himself for an hour sounds like
I would just sit there and talk the whole time.
I would just let him talk, because that dude is amazing. I love Taika Waititi.
What we do in the chat, oh my god.
Yeah. But we're going to do one for Taika Waititi for Thor. We're going to do one for Jordan Peele for Nope.
I think we're going to say Jordan Peterson for some reason. I'm like, what?
Any other movies?
We can do a Jordan Peterson review.
How he was the brain in Arthur.
No, that's not Jordan Peterson.
That's not true. That's Ben Shapiro?
No, that's not Ben Shapiro.
No, who was that?
It was Steven Crowder.
Steven Crowder. Gotcha. We could do one on Jordan Peterson.
Maybe.
Well, like I say, we have to watch a 2000 Mules movie.
Yeah.
I ain't coughing you.
What's that movie that's coming out with Idris Elba? Like 3,000 Years of Longing or something?
Yeah, that was weird. I don't understand that.
That's interesting.
We'll see.
We'll
see
about
that one.
It looks original. I like when original things come out from Hollywood.
Yeah.
It's Idris Elba and not Uma Thurman. What's her name?
Tilda Swinton.
Tilda Swinton. Yeah.
But yeah, we'll probably watch that one too.
Well, the Black Phone we're gonna do.
The Black Phone.
I'm really excited for that. We have Top Gun. We're gonna go see it Tuesday, so that should be out within the next week or 2.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Depends on when we film it.
Depending on when we film it. That's why I said hopefully.
Yeah. Hopefully after that,
we'll
watch Watcher the next week.
Watcher?
Yeah. I didn't tell you guys about Watcher?
No.
Oh, Watcher looks great. It's about it's another stalker type movie.
Is it in theaters?
I think it's coming to theaters. It might not be a wide release, but it's Micah Monroe's next movie. She's the girl from It Follows. She's from
movie?
The Guest. Micah Monroe.
Oh, yeah.
She's the blonde girl. She's actually really good. I'm a big fan. She's from It Follows. You remember seeing It Follows?
No, that was good, yeah.
That's the sex one.
Yeah, that's the sex one. She's from The Guest. Have you ever seen The Guest?
No.
Yeah. No.
The Guest was really good. She just came out with another movie with Chloe Grace Moretz where she was a waitress and she got
I like her
kidnapped.
too.
I think I heard that one, yeah.
She's good in there. She's a really good actress. She was just in another movie with Bill Skarsgård called The Villains.
I think I heard of that.
Yeah, they break into a house to steal their money and stuff, and then they find out that the people are fucking crazy.
You know what's a really good movie? I don't know if it's Stockholm. It's all about how Stockholm Syndrome started. It's with Ethan Hawke, and it's he robs a bank and he kidnaps this, or not kidnap, but he takes captive this employee of this girl in the bank. I don't know if she's employed or not. She's just there as a customer. But it's that whole about then she starts really he's a good guy, and she starts really falling for him. Not in a romantic. I don't remember, but that whole Stockholm Syndrome thing. That's how it started because it happened in Stockholm, Sweden.
Yeah, Ethan Hawke is making a.
This is an older movie. It's not a new.
Oh no, yeah, probably, but I haven't seen Ethan Hawke in anything in years, and then I finally see him. He's in Moon Knight. He was in The Northman.
Black Phone.
The Black Phone.
He seems to be going on and off. Sometimes I'll see him a lot, then other times it'll be years where I don't hear from him.
Yeah.
So.
I guess it all depends on if he was interested in the project or not.
Yeah, he's really good though. I loved Ethan Hawke. I love Training Day.
Yeah, there's in Moon Knight, for some reason, from one of the first trailers I saw for Moon Knight showed him as Arthur Harrow with the long hair, and he looks like Kevin Bacon for some reason, in that one shot they did.
He does look kind of like Kevin Bacon.
If I can, I'll find the picture because it's really funny to me.
Yeah, but he's good. He's another one of those actors that I get excited to see him and stuff, and I haven't seen him with anything in a long time. So now with him being in almost everything, I'm yes. But like I said, Training Day, he kind of looks like him.
A little bit, right? A little bit.
Training Day. He was in Boyhood. He was in Boyhood. He was in Assault on Precinct 13. He's a really good actor, and I like to see him in different things.
Ethan Hawke.
Yeah, his daughter is making her name in movies.
Stranger Things.
Stranger Things. She was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Is it his and Uma Thurman's daughter?
Yeah.
Which is it? Maya?
Yeah, I think it's Maya Thurman.
Maya Hawke.
Maya Hawke. Yeah. Yeah, Maya Hawke. She was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Was she?
Yeah, she wasn't a big role. She was a really small role, but she was that girl in the car when they're like sneaking up on the house,
That wasn't.
and she's like, "I'll be right back," and then she gets out of the car and runs away, and they're like,
Oh, is it about the other girl that was like showing her feet all the time? I was gonna say that's
no, not her."
That's what's her name's daughter? What's her name? I can see
It'll
her.
come to you.
I can see her.
I've heard about her too. Like I don't know whose daughter she is, but I've heard about her that she's somebody's daughter. But yeah, that's some insights, some stuff that you should be expecting very soon.
Yeah.
Anything else you guys have to say on Alex Garland or anything like that? I know like I noticed in a lot of his films there's an underlying sort of message, and in Annihilation I'm pretty sure it was something about like an ecological disaster and how we treat nature, because in The Shimmer basically everything organic around you breaks down and then merges with other organic stuff, so you get weird sort of cool mixes, like the flowers turning into people. It's like little trees, but they're in the shape of people.
Hey, buddy.
And then of course the bear, all the other weird shit. But I think that was sort of a play on we're all part of the same planet. We need to treat each other right, or else that's not very good. And then of course Ex Machina, technological singularity.
Hi, you have to go out.
Hi guys.
I have to go out.
Yeah.
Hi.
So we could end this now, I think.
Oh,
That's peeking. She made it peak.
Penny, what's the matter, Penny?
She wants to go upstairs.
We will
Okay.
end this now then. Thank you
That's
for
all we have.
watching.
Thank you.
Feel free to like, share, and subscribe. See you in the next one. Goodbye.